Guys, welcome back to the Frame Shift Podcast, your favorite podcast on the World Wide Web. And today we're going to cover a new movie that just came out. I think it's out already. Yeah, it's out. Michael, the biopic? Josh, how do I say that? I think it's biopic. Biopic. We got it right. The biopic of Michael Jackson. So let's get right to it. Bro.
It's crazy because it's his real family. It's Jaafar Jackson. It's his nephew. It's his real nephew.
So that's what I was going to ask, because you see I don't know if it's Jaafar, however you pronounce it, but you see that name on every single billboard. So you were saying that's his nephew?
It's his nephew, and he's the star of it. It's almost kind of like who did Bohemian Rhapsody?
I honestly don't even know.
It just beat, I think, Bohemian Rhapsody's box office in the first weekend. It's like domestically it's at 100 million right now, and globally or internationally it's at like 200 million. It's
those are really good numbers for nowadays. I feel like a lot of movies flop. So like the fact that they actually got to that, I wonder how much. I'm gonna look that up in a little bit, but I wonder how much they spent on production on this movie and marketing, and like the budget for this movie.
I think I read somewhere, excluding marketing, I think it was 200 million ish.
And they already broke broke even on, and that's probably including the budgeting, because you generally double it to get to the 200 for the marketing. So if you put 100 into production, 100 into the marketing, equaling 200. So good for them. It's only been out, what, a week?
It's like a week, and it's Lionsgate. And so I think I read also that this was like Lionsgate's best performing movie in some time.
I can't even tell you the last Lionsgate movie that I really watched.
Yeah,
I don't even know when the last one was.
I don't pay attention to that when I watch a movie. I'm not like, oh, this is Lionsgate or this is whatever.
I just know this thing is okay.
Yeah.
I know this thing is.
Oh, right. But I mean, so and also, there's so many critics out there talking about the movie now, how it didn't talk about his allegations, and listen, I didn't watch it, but I read some of the reviews. They're saying the movie ended during the Bad Tour in like 1988. So this was 5 years before the allegations. So how can you say...
Wait, it ended in 88? The movie, like the timeline of the movie, it just ended in 88?
The movie ended in like 88 or whatever. So they didn't have a chance to get into the allegations part of it.
Allegations? I don't even think they got to like where he was becoming like white. Like where he was changing his skin tones and stuff. Like they didn't even get to the point where he bought part of Sony Publishing.
Yeah.
They didn't even get to that. Happened in 95.
Bill Maher went on record for saying they didn't bring up any of the allegations. And then I read the article that said, well, the movie ended. And there's a lot of time between the Jackson 5 when he was a 5-year-old kid or whatever and 1988, the Bad Tour. That's a massive time frame. Well, Bill Maher was saying there's no allegations. Well, it makes sense if the movie ends during the Bad Tour because there were no allegations.
Yeah, it's like you look at him as a king at that point and just ignore the back end.
Well, and unless there's a sequel. If there's a sequel, then we have to address, and it goes from the
That's
Bad
interesting.
Tour.
No, that's interesting. Is there words? Is there anything in the news about there being a sequel potentially?
Yeah, but that's the problem. They'd have to address a lot of the allegations, and I think the people who own his estate don't really want the negative.
That would also be kind of stupid to do it as a sequel, because now you're only looking at the bad side. You've got the good side of Michael and the bad side of Mike.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like a bad idea. You should have just made it one and compressed it if you're going to do that route just because of that issue.
It is a sticky situation because, I mean, there's so many
Talk about a sticky
just,
situation.
like, love him, right? Isn't there so many people that love him? Look, okay.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So many people ignore... Because I was too young. I don't know what's true or not in terms of the allegations. I've heard so many things on both sides. Even my mom, who obviously likes his music, but really just... she tells me a story where we were down at the shore one weekend and there was a magazine with his face on it after like the nose shit and all that. And he had become so creepy looking that she didn't even want us to look at him on that magazine cover, and she like turned it over.
Wait, was that the famous picture where he had like no nose? It was
probably it probably was. This was 2010 maybe. I don't remember exactly.
I always wondered if that was real. Like his nose would literally come off of his face And that's why he wore the mask a lot of the times, right? Because maybe he didn't have his nose on or something. I always wondered if that was real.
South Park did him so dirty on that, but it was such a great episode. Go check that out if you haven't seen it yet.
What did they do?
They had Blanket just wanting to escape him and trying to escape, and he just goes, no, Blanket wants to play. Blanket friend wants to play. It was so bad. It was so bad, but it's a great episode. Go check it out.
He did make some pretty kids because the wife, the mother of his children, I can't remember. She was beautiful too back in the day, and then she just, as she got older,
She went downhill a little bit.
just a little bit. But man, they made beautiful kids. Paris.
Well, Michael was a good looking person before the plastic surgery and all that, right?
I think before
I don't know.
and after. I think before and after, he's just he was a good looking dude,
Mm-hmm.
right? But man, his kids, the daughter Paris is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Besides being kind of a hippie type I saw pictures of her online where she was like raising her arms or whatever, and she had the hippie
Oh, is she really embracing it?
And I'm like, damn, she's gorgeous, right? And I don't know if that's just the hippie style or whatever. Or
Yeah.
that might have just been a bad month or something. I don't know.
No. So let's go deeper into this film a little bit. It's to me, it's a little wild that they ended it there, just because of what we said earlier about now they have to continue it and only have a bad movie, like only on the bad part. But they missed a lot of parts, it seems like. From my research, I had heard about this from people, but I didn't really understand it fully. So he purchased ATV Publishing, which is like a music publishing company back in '85. He purchased it outright for $47.5 million. He then partnered with Sony Publishing. Sony freaking Publishing, bro. On a 50-50 deal where ATV and Sony became one or some sort of conglomerate in some way. And they own 50-50. Which means that he's got the McCartneys, the McCartney files, the Beatles catalog, the craziest catalogs from back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, to do that on that level is just insane. The estate was paid $750 million on his passing for that 50% share of the Sony Publishing stuff, which is probably undervalued, honestly. If Justin Bieber's out here selling it for $500 million.
That's right. So Justin Bieber sold his catalog, and it's a little bit of the opposite. Michael Jackson bought
He was the
people's
buyer.
catalogs back in the day, but he bought a lot of those for, you said, $47 million.
He bought ATV Publishing, which owned a bunch already,
Yeah.
for $47.5, which turned into $750 million.
Nowadays, it's like, okay, $47 million back then. Now it's
Oh
like
my
Justin
God.
Bieber is selling his album for $500 million. What did you say, $500 million?
I don't know the exact number, but
$500 million.
it's between $250 and $450, I think it was. Scooter did well on that deal. Scooter did well.
Insane. And we spoke about it last podcast too, where was it true where was he not able to sing his songs, or what came of
So that
I
is
think there
true.
were some
That is true. But
comments.
they're okay. I'll address it. I'll address the things happening right now. So apparently it was like an hour and a half set. 70 minutes were him performing music, like a normal concert. And then 20 minutes of that set where it was the YouTube portion where he played the old songs that he had already sold. So it was new songs in the beginning, or newer songs, and then old catalog. And I think it's a good, it was a good combo. It was a good way they laid it out.
Back to Michael Jackson.
Back to the important part.
I don't know if
Back to the man that started it all.
everybody loved him. Do you think he did what he's been accused of?
I don't think Michael Jackson was a ditto monster. I think he was performing at the age of what, 5 or 6? When was he in the Jackson 5?
Yeah, about that.
There was no time to be a kid. He wasn't able to be a kid, and that definitely messed him up mentally. And you see it with child actors all the time. The exact same thing kind of play out. Not the exact thing, but similar, where they just don't understand. And that's kind of what I'm guessing is going on to an extent. I don't think he was a diddle master.
I mean, he was always kind of the Peter Pan type. He
Just not understanding.
He never really wanted to age. He wanted to stay a kid. He had the Neverland Ranch, and so, I mean, I personally think he didn't do any of that either, because he came out on record with songs. He publicly called Tommy Mottola a devil, And so he was pushing back against the industry. And
He was
so
Tommy. What was the name? Tommy Atola.
Tommy Mottola.
Mottola.
He was one of the heads, I think, at Sony,
Like a label exec.
Label exec or something. He managed Mariah Carey for a while. Ended up
That's a good
they ended
client.
up together. I think he was married to her for some years. But
Did he take her from Eminem? Or did Eminem take her from him?
I don't know. I don't know.
Go on.
But he publicly called him out. He said the industry is, you know, they're basically devils, and he was trying to call out the industry. And so I think it's a possibility that the industry coming back to him was kind of like, I don't know, trying to slander him in a way.
Especially after especially after he
false
passed.
allegations to try to shut him up for exposing the industry.
And that's kind of where the conspiracy land starts, and there's merit to it, but there also isn't merit to an extent, I think, because that's what we're saying. We don't know if it really happened, but
I mean, a lot of the kids, I think now grown adults, are saying he didn't do really anything. I mean, and the ones that were, the main one, I think it was the kid's father who was just trying to extort
it was like
money.
a parent or some shit. You know what's funny? Wasn't the Home Alone kid one of those, like his best friend kind of thing? Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin, that's it. We'll figure this out eventually. We'll get this right. But yeah, wasn't he like really close and always stood up for him?
Always stood up for him.
And that was another one where it was a child actor that just didn't understand things. Like he had his issues. He had his own issues.
I don't know where it goes, you know, from here, but I think we should double check to see if the Michael movie did end during the 1998.
Yeah, no, that's
1988 bad tour.
Yeah, 88. That's so stupid to me to end it there. Like that, I don't know. Was the bad tour, you would know this better than me, was the bad tour the end of his reign kind of thing? Like, was that where the downhill kind of started?
No, not at all. I mean,
when did the downhill kind of start for him?
That was 5 years after the bad tour. I think this was 1993.
So like 93
is when those allegations came out. So his down,
and maybe it was closer to 96 if he bought Sony Publishing in 95. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know, and then he did have a big resurgence after that too, though. So he did come out of that, I guess, sort of, right? Because he had so many hits after that.
He did have so many hits after that, and I feel like if you were going to listen to him, you're going to listen to him. And if you're going to believe that he was guilty and not listen to him, you're not going to listen to him. So he probably still had his core fan base of hundreds of millions of listeners.
Right.
Like that's the difference of being the actual king of selling records. Like you can go through that and still, you're not selling billions anymore, but you're selling hundreds of millions. Like,
see, chat's not good at this. It says no, it didn't end during the bad tour, but it does say that it just covers Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad.
That would be ending in bad tour, it feels like.
Chat is terrible at this, guys. So I guess you're just going to have to let us know if it. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure people who watch the movie are going to say, "Yeah, it ended at the," or "No, it didn't. You're a fucking idiot," or whatever. You know.
Shout out chat for fucking up.
We both said it's 5. We're past 5.
We're past the 5 minute mark. We can say fuck. No, we're not going to keep repeating it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure
that.
we're past the mark,
but we won't keep repeating it. We're not going to say.
So please tell us if we're wrong, but I swear I read that I think in an actual article, and I don't think the article was wrong though, right? And so I'm pretty sure it ends I'm
gonna ask Claude right now.
That's Chat GPT versus Claude.
No, Claude's a million times better. One issue with Claude though, it is kind of slow. Oh, yep. Film ends in 88, more than 20 years before Jackson's death in 09.
I guess you don't get to comment idiot.
Idiots who are going to comment. Yeah, idiots. You're retards.
Yeah,
I'll say retard.
We don't have to bleep that one.
Fuck no.
Oh,
heck no. Retard.
People like Bill Maher, and I really like Bill Maher, but there's all these critics talking about how the allegations are not part of the biopic, and it's like, if it ended 5 years before, the allegations are not part of it. How does that not make sense?
They should have been a slight factor. Otherwise, it just feels like a completely corrupted viewpoint.
If you're hitting a time period though where that never existed, there's no spot to
that it should have at least ended in like 2000. right?
Well, again, the estate owns all of this, and they didn't want.
The state's got to sign off at the end of the day.
I do.
So there's no part 2 coming.
There's no part 2.
Yeah,
coming.
there's no part 2 coming. They just ended it.
You know, I will say, I think a few of his kids and even some of his family didn't really like this biopic. I think I read that somewhere too. You know, so I don't know. I guess I look forward to watching it.
Here's the other part. The estate doesn't have to sell you the rights either. If you do it as a documentary piece, anybody, that's how 50 Cent did Diddy's. It's the exact same thing, you know? Like, they don't have to sign off on it necessarily. You just can't claim that it was corroborated with the family, I think. I think that's kind of the stipulation around it, which is a big deal, but it's... For this, you probably want corroboration with the family.
So, yeah, no part 2.
No part 2 coming. Should we hit, is there anything more we want to hit for this?
No, I think that's it. You want to get into some NFL stuff?
Let's hit the NFL real quick. So this past weekend was the NFL draft. Did you watch it at all?
No, I didn't watch the draft, but I read a little bit about it.
I watched it. I watched a decent amount of round 1 and 2. I didn't watch round the third day at all, but I guess 2 and 3. Rounds 2 and 3. I didn't watch the third day at all though. But yeah, it was a pretty good draft. I'll speak for the Eagles first. Mekhi Lemon from USC might be one of the creepiest looking dudes, but bro, I freaking love you. Go kill it. We have the most competitive receiver room at this point. It's actually insane. Between, just Brown, Wicks, Smith, obviously. Now Lemon, AJ Brown is still in there, although come June 1st, he'll be to the Patriots, it seems like, because of, it seems like he'll be to the Patriots. But that receiver room is extremely competitive. Extremely competitive. We got to unload at least 1 or 2 and get something out of them because there's too many really good players that are just not even going to touch the ball, literally. Yeah. And, yeah, so the Eagles did really good in round 1. We got, Stowers from Vandy, the tight end. I like that pickup. I'm glad we didn't waste a pick on Kenyon Sadiq. We've got Dallas Goedert, who loves being an Eagle, and we don't need to get Kenyon Sadiq, and it would have been a waste of a pick.
Okay, this is like... This is why I don't watch the draft, is because I'm not a college guy, and I think that's...
I'm a college guy, yeah.
You have to like college because that's some of the guys coming from college up to the pros.
All of them.
I get... Right. I get more interested in, like... seeing just NFL trades.
Trades are always fun. So the Eagles did a fun one to get Mekhi, and actually they slapped Pittsburgh in the face a little bit. Pittsburgh Steelers were about to draft Mekhi, and then they jumped the Steelers.
During the draft, do they know? They don't know who's going to draft who, though, do they?
The players don't know. The players have a good idea, though. When you're that early in the draft, they have a good idea where they're going. Their agent, they've talked to the team. They know the first 10 to 15 picks, I'd say, are pretty, you know who you're getting, There's not too many people off the board. You're just going down your list of people that you've made.
Wait, so you're saying the players don't know, but behind the scenes they do know? That's already...
To an extent. Oh, wow. As much as you can now, And then trades happen like that one. And things get switched up, I'm sure Mekhi didn't think he was going to the Eagles. I think he thought he was going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. But I think he's very happy with that trade.
And don't they do that too, where they'll trade off a trade to get a first rounder or something like that?
All the time. Or like
they'll give up a player to get a first round pick or something like that, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think the Rams, let's talk about the Rams for a second. They made an interesting choice, you could say. So they moved up 2 spots in the first round. So they went from like 11 to 9 or like 13 to 11. I forget. It was in that area to get, I'm blanking on his name right now, but it was the first, like, holy shit, wait, what are you doing? Because they've got Stetson Bennett back there, also a Georgia kid, who's probably going to take over for Jesus Christ, I'm losing it right now. Old head from Detroit, Rams quarterback right now. Jesus Christ, I'm not. Stafford. Thank you, Matthew Stafford. He's got a year or 2 left, probably. Maybe he's got a couple years, but not too much longer. So they need a replacement at quarterback. They've got Stetson Bennett back there. They just drafted him. They spent a very early pick in the first round to get a third quarterback.
And moving up from like 11 to 9 or whatever, is that really a big deal? Like two spots, could that be?
It cost them. It cost them 2 additional picks.
Right, it cost them, but do those 2 rounds, does that often make a big difference?
That early on, yeah, because those first 10 to 15 people off the board are just, that's your ultra elite caliber player that's like actually game changing. Those are game changing players for sure, you know. And if you think the person in front of you is going to grab the player you want, you have to do everything you can, and you need that player.
But there's multiple players in every round, though, right?
Oh yeah, so each team gets a pick in the round.
Oh, one. Okay, just one pick. Okay.
Yeah, unless you trade, and then you can have multiple.
I see.
Let's say the Eagles traded with someone, and then now they've got 2, 3, 4, 5. But then you also have to pay them, and you have to do within the you know, the financial confinements as well, where there's only so much money to go around, and first round draft picks are paid like, I think it's $55 million. Like for top 10 picks get paid insane.
Is there ever an instance where, because college players are being paid now, right?
Yeah.
Is there ever an instance where they're paid more in college than they do if when they come to the NFL?
A rookie contract versus a, you know, your cream of the crop in a NIL. You're making a ton in NIL deals. You're making a ton just from the team. You might be grossing close to $10 million a year
As a college player.
I know people touched that last year for sure, multiple people. But here's the thing: the NFL deals are just bigger. Like,
right.
each of your brand deals are going to be $5-10 million if you're in that area.
Because, yeah, if you're in that area as college, you're going to be in that area as NFL. So it's probably very rare that if you're a standout college player, you're just going to get a basic rookie deal as an NFL.
I think the NBA, Cooper Flagg, was one of those few people that actually literally broke that, where he was getting paid like $20-30 million by Duke to play for them. And it was like, yeah, you're going to take a little pay cut at first, but then you're going to sign a max contract where you're being paid $75 million a year.
Sure, it's like a step back, one step back, and then a year or two later, it's just catapulted.
Exactly.
To the stratosphere.
Exactly. Like that. Thinking about that money is just insane. Like, you're throwing around numbers that are actually, like, you're throwing around making $500 million in a 4 or 5 year period. That's insane. Like, think about that for a second. There's not a lot of CEOs that make that. There's not a lot of Fortune 500 like big companies making that money.
Well, that's why a hot dog's $25 when you go to the game, right? And a beer is $18, and
or you go to Coachella, or you, like we talked about last time, and I don't even know if I said this, bro. We didn't. I don't think we said it. A chicken tenders and caviar. How much was that at Coachella? Just take a guess.
$146.
You're right, $150.
Okay, and I only know that because you sent me the clip.
Okay.
Of that guy that was so awesome, by the way.
How crazy is that? It's just like these ballpark prices, these music fest prices. Like, once they're caught in the fish barrel, you can just charge them whatever.
Even if you know that going in, who does that?
You got to be able to afford it first off.
Remember back in the day, the movie theaters, you'd be like snuggling in your own M&Ms and your own, because the M&Ms
100%. You got to be doing that.
Is that what they're doing at Coachella too?
You have to be. Although, I don't want to go too far into Coachella, but I saw that they were like actually searching cars too, like tearing the cars apart
for like bringing in
anything,
food and beverage.
Anything banned. I don't know if food and beverage. I'm sure food and beverage is also. Yeah. No, it's.
You know, if a Coke is $40,
you're gonna start selling contraband.
You have a 6-pack in your.
Like, bro, I would just go there and start selling that shit out of my trunk. I'm not kidding. Like,
unbelievable.
I actually did that with Waters one time back in like when I was like 20 years old. I went to like this small little festival and just sold Waters. Like, best investment ever.
Yeah, I think we did that in high school too. We did that with like. There was, I think, gum. You could sell gum. You were
middle school. I did that in middle school. Yep.
You were a businessman back in middle school. Yeah. So we all kind of had that in us, I guess. But when you see those numbers,
it's back to the numbers. It's $75-100 million a year if you're a quarterback. If you play in the NBA, if you're a left tackle, if you're an edge rusher, it's like, how do you go broke? And they still go broke. How the hell do they still go broke? But
it doesn't make sense, right? I mean, if you even if you made $75 million a year and you bought like a huge ass mansion for like 20 or 30 million and then you went broke, you can still sell that mansion and then you're back up to 30 million again. It's an asset.
That too.
And they're not even doing that apparently.
I don't know how many of them actually own the houses.
Damn.
And I think it's just smarter not to, if we're being honest. Like,
If you're making $75 million a year, you're not putting that on the monopoly board?
if I can run it for $5,000 a month, it's going to take how long just to get even to $500,000? And if I want to leave after 2 years, who knows? Might make more sense in that way, you know?
You also get equity when you buy too. Right?
No, but then you got to deal with selling. Hope you don't lose on the market. Hope all that. There's more of a gamble.
That's what I'm saying though. If these players have 75 million, it's like you can almost have a little nest egg, and even if you lose $1 million on your $20 million mansion, it's like you still have a $19
You still
million
pulled 19
nest
in there.
egg. That's like I would totally do that in 2 seconds. And so if they're not doing that, it's like I think these players are needing some business managers.
Well, that's 100%
required in the league. The league
they
should
do
say,
that. So they don't do it well enough. During the rookie symposium or whatever it's called, in Canton, they have a bunch of people come in. Like all the people that went broke, they all come in and tell their story. Like don't trust people. Trust your financial advisors, but don't trust anybody at the same time. Like, don't be giving all your homies brand new Escalades. Like, you can't do it. Like, it doesn't work. Keep like 3 to 5 people around you. You don't need 40 people. Like, it just don't work. Simple as that.
So I got a question for you.
Shoot.
I read that the AI mock draft did a terrible job. And A, is that true? But B, if it is true, I thought that's what ChatGPT and Claude and all these programs are good at, is like statistics. So isn't the draft based on it's heavily based on numbers for the draft, right?
You're looking at 2 different eras of draft strategy, I'd say, where statistic was the only thing you really looked at prior to 2005, 2010. You only look at statistics. You looked at the way they played, all that shit, but statistics were the driver. Now you look at other factors, and
I'm afraid to know.
It's better. It's way better now. It's just like,
what's one of the other factors?
Attitude. Attitude is one.
So, well,
and here's why this is so important, because I think it was 2001, Raiders draft Jamarcus Russell. On paper, best quarterback you've ever seen in your life. On his knees, he could throw the ball 75, 80 yards. Literally, I'm not joking, on his knees, not standing up. On his knees, he could throw the ball 75, 80 yards. Pure freak out of LSU. He was gone out of the league within a year. He got fat. He would not read the playbook. And there's a story where the coaches actually put like $100 bill in the playbook, gave him the playbook and said, read this. He said, yeah, I read it. They're like, yeah, did you find anything in it? He's like, no. He never read the playbook.
Well, at what point so he got fat, he doesn't go to practice, but if you can still throw 70 or 80 yards, then they're still not.
This is the NFL. It doesn't matter. Your talent only gets you so far. You have to be cerebral enough to, and that's what you're seeing nowadays is these quarterbacks aren't the same as they used to be. They can't read defenses like they used to. They can't. Yeah. They rely on athleticism too much.
And look, don't get me wrong, because attitude is everything, and it can bring down the whole brand. And the brand is the actual, you know what I mean? The brand is the actual driver of this whole thing. I mean, it's like Philadelphia Eagles, they have their brand. And so if you have a quarterback that has a terrible attitude, I mean, that's going to bring your whole brand down. But at the end of the day, doesn't it say something about like, you want to win the Super Bowl too, right? So if that guy that throws 80 yards has a little bit of a bad attitude, at what point do you say, okay, well, we're going to deal with this?
So now you're talking about like an Antonio Brown kind of player who's absolutely prolific, best player, one of the best all-time greats. If he had continued and probably not gotten hit over the middle by Vontaze Burfict and gotten that concussion, he probably would be one of the greatest receivers to ever live. He got concussed, and he did everything wrong after that. Everything you could do wrong, he did wrong. From going live in the locker room, which is a big no-no, while the coach is talking.
Yeah.
Go walk, and then, I mean, you can go through them all, but all the way up to walking off the field at halftime for the Tampa Bay, and that's how he retired.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like,
I remember that, yeah.
Dude was just, you can't have that on your team. It doesn't matter how good you are.
So back to AI then. So
real quick, TO2. He had the same issue in Dallas. He was a cancer to the locker room. Every single locker room said, he says he wasn't, but every single locker room he was in said that.
But everyone kept him. He just retired because of old age, right?
He didn't, no one kept him. He was out of every team within 2 years. Eagles kept him for a year. Dallas kept him for like 2. He was with the Niners for a little bit, but once he left the Niners, yeah.
So then, so I see what you're saying then. So AI can only go off statistics and they're not going off of like the attitude. What's another one? What's attitude? Like what else?
Another one would be just wild cards in a sense, you know? Shador Sanders falling. AI, I'm sure that was last year's draft. I'm sure AI had him going in the second round, probably mid-second round. He went in the 6th round.
Oh, so nepo baby type stuff then, right? Like if
to an extent, but that's the opposite of a nepo baby. I mean, he's the definition of a nepo baby that got the opposite of a treatment of a nepo. You know, like
right, he went 6th instead of 2.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So, but he shouldn't have gotten in at all, basically, but he got in 6th round.
So there's a lot of he has a lot of talent, but the talent he played up against at Colorado they played in like, it wasn't a very good conference if I remember correctly when he was playing there. And I mean, that says it all. Your talent, you're going up against not as good talent. Obviously, you're going to take someone that went up against like SEC or Big Ten talent every day, hands down, over that guy.
Yeah.
But then there's all the conspiracy theories as well. And his dad was just really talking loud, like LeVar Ball-esque.
Right. Isn't there there's several of these, I'm sure, but we were talking several months back about one of the other quarterbacks that's like in the family, the brothers, the
Archie Manning, yeah.
He's apparently not very good, or is it I can't remember. He's not very good, but because he's a Manning, he was brought up, or is it the other way around?
No, he's got a shitload of talent. He is exceptionally talented. His first game, and he played really well 2 years ago. His freshman year at Texas, he played really well filling in, if I remember correctly. His sophomore year, he opened up against Ohio State, and Texas was ranked number 2. Ohio State was ranked number 1. Texas should not have been ranked number 1. Like, I love Archie. The polls fucked them on that. Absolutely fucked them, because if they hadn't been so highly ranked, then his learning curve would have been like this instead of like this, you know, like his learning curve naturally was like this, but the way the polls put it and the way the announcers put it, it made it look like he fell off. And he actually played Ohio State really well, who was the number 1 team until they lost in the playoffs, in the semifinals.
Yeah, but I think it was you guys saying though that Archie was not going to ever live up to the other Mannings, though, wasn't it? I think
he can be better. I think he can be better than the other Mannings 100%. He's just got a play style that just works. Like, he plays really well. It's almost Johnny Manziel-esque. But yeah, he's got to grow into it, and I think he'll probably get drafted after this year, and he's probably going to kill it this year.
So next year, the AI mock draft, what do you think's where would it put at a guy like Archie Manning?
It's hard to say, because it'll be completely based off of his stats this year.
And not attitude.
No, I don't think it'll factor that type of thing in.
You don't think AI will get to the point where it can kind of figure out, like, based on like articles or writings?
Which is really funny. You know? And this brings up a bigger conversation, is what is AI? Because to me, just reading stats and making algorithmic decisions based on stats is not AI. Any computer program can do that. In my opinion, what makes AI is the ability to make a decision. I was talking to Joe about this. It's the ability to make a decision, which isn't based on stats. It's a cognitive thought process that is what makes AI, in my opinion.
The way I always thought about it was AI was like scouring the internet, whereas if you have like a learning model, you still have to feed it the numbers, whereas AI is just going to literally scour everything and then make determinations.
It's the exact same thing. If the definition of scouring is how we're doing the separation, I don't think that's AI. I think the real definition within AI is once it has that cognitive, in a sense, ability.
Well, then that's what, AI should be able to do then. If it's scouring the internet for stats, it should scour the internet for like articles and negative articles and positive articles reading about,
exactly,
this guy was terrible in the locker room and stuff. And so that goes factoring into the statistics as well as.
And in my opinion, that would be AI right there. It's taking all the data and making an opinion. It's the making of an opinion on something.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, well, that's bad. But that is what AI is, in my opinion, because without that opinion, it's just an LMM or an LLM.
Yeah, no, that's a good opinion. And people shouldn't take that out of context. An opinion is an opinion at the end of the day, but that allows you ample data See, people try to rely on AI completely, and I think you're a complete idiot if you do that. You know, you have
Yeah.
to take what AI spits back out at you and be able to decipher it and make changes to it
And we
make
saw
it your own.
and they make mistakes too. We saw that with the WrestleMania research. Like literally it said Logan fought John Cena, right?
Oh
And
my
that never
God.
happened. Like it just never happened.
I think we cut that out of the actual episode,
I did.
but it's we're sitting here like idiots talking about it. And then what I said, I called them out on it afterwards. I said, "You told me John Cena was going to fight."
Oh, I
Logan
love
Paul."
doing that.
And you know what it said? Literally, chat told me, "Oh,
Whoops, I'm sorry.
my bad."
Like,
It said, "My bad."
and that's where it's like, what is this? Like, and that's where it gets really confusing because clearly it's not just scouring online. It is forming an opinion, but it's forming the wrong opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And those opinions are definitely biased opinions too, you know, because someone is coding that.
exactly. And that is it. But that's the thing.
Can we get out of that?
I don't know if we can get out of that. That might be a catch-22
Well,
situation.
technically AI could, right? If AI is truly AI, right?
Then it would form its own.
It would learn to navigate outside of its own coding.
If it's true AI. I have a problem with all these people claiming AI.
Yeah.
Because even within editing programs, all these things claiming AI, it's not AI. When we cut this episode and we do the auto AI cut for our initial cut before we review and edit, it's just reading sound waves. That's just a computer program. I'm saying, oh,
Yeah.
this microphone is spiking. Let me cut to this camera angle. Like,
Yeah.
that's not AI in my opinion.
It's literally just a software program that they're slapping AI on now.
As a
which is-
title.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even true AI, because if it was AI, it would be saying, oh, this person's giving me a good reaction. Let me cut to that. That's what would be AI.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
it's weird. One more thing to button up with the draft before we move on. The Eagles also drafted a quarterback. You know how I feel about that. So we drafted a kid out of North Dakota State. Also where Carson Wentz is from, okay? So we took him late. I think it was like 4th, 5th, 6th round. It might have been 6th round. And, you know, he's not a savior. I don't think he'll be the next coming of Jesus Christ. But it's going to be interesting. If Jalen has another game where he just doesn't throw the middle, if Jalen has another game where he doesn't have a completed pass in the second half, if Jalen continues being Jalen, even with all these goddamn weapons around him, let's throw him in the game. I'm here for that. Howie, you're a beast. Keep doing your thing. I trust in Howie. Bird gang kid.
You want Jalen there as a backup, but not the starter.
I don't want Jalen there. I understand.
Period.
I understand. Here's the thing. I understand that Jalen is better than a lot of quarterbacks in this league. I also see that Jalen has a lot of obvious issues with him. So if we can find someone better than him, awesome. But they've got to be better than him to replace him. And he's a top 12 quarterback in the league.
12? Is that like 50? Was that like half?
Pretty much. There's 15. There's 16 in the league. He's a top 12.
Okay.
Or there's 30.
worse than-
There's 32 in the league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
so 16 would be half.
So he's in like top like third or something. But
Yeah.
what? So you say his arm is up. You say he can only throw like 20 yards or something.
Obviously, I'm
More
being
than that,
facetious when I say that, but in general, yeah, he can't.
It's more
He doesn't-
lofty now than a.
He doesn't have drive. He can't drive the ball, and he can't see over the O-line properly.
Yeah.
Or he plays like he can't see over the O. Jesus Christ. He plays like he can't see over the O-line. But so I'm glad we grabbed someone. We'll see what happens. Go Birds, dickhead.
So have you seen this new documentary on Netflix called Caterpillar?
If I say yes, will you ask me direct questions about it?
No, because I haven't seen it either. I've watched.
What's wrong? Wait. What is wrong with us?
We're reviewing.
Some of these comments have a point.
We
We were right about the Real American because that didn't come out yet.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I just had to say that.
Because what's interesting is it's a documentary now, but we've had this conversation months and months and months ago, and now it's a documentary, so we can kind of talk about it. It might not be in the documentary. We're looking forward to watching the documentary. I started it, and to be honest, it was a little boring in the beginning, but I'm sure it'll get better. But we've had conversations long before this documentary came out about
We're talking about the science of the shit.
like eye color, right? Like this was one of the big things in the documentary, apparently, where if you had the chance to, if you had a child, right, and you had the money, would you pay the money to have your child's eyes be a different color? Or if the child was, say, already 10 years old and wanted their eyes changed, would you let them?
So it's less of eye color for me that I would be interested in about. I have hazel eyes, which I love. I love having hazel eyes. Like, that's the best in my opinion. But blue's cool, but hazel's better. Like, where you get I have brown eyes with a bunch of green and gold flecks. Yeah. Like, I love it.
And it doesn't come out unless the sun hits you just right.
It's
so when you're talking
awesome.
to a girl, you're kind of looking up and you're just like,
hi, how are you doing? And I'm tall, so they can only see my chin. They can't even see my eyes. But no.
Right, no, what's more important?
What's more important to me is like you can edit out autism. You can edit out all these are we allowed to say defects? We can say retardations. I can actually say retardations here. Hold up. I'm saying retardations, and I actually can because it works.
Let's do it.
You can edit out all these retardations. Yeah, I can say it. I am retarded. We're good.
We're self-editing.
No, I'm just retarded. I'm allowed to say it.
Oh yeah. If you're retarded, you can say retarded.
Exactly. You can't say it. You're not retarded.
I am.
You're canceled.
I think I am.
Okay, he's part of retarded.
We'll look back at my doctor's reports. But no, okay, that makes sense. So edit that out. But here's the thing now. So then it's kind of like almost two people who have no business having kids can now have kids if they have the money because they can edit out all of the retardations.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's actually technically true. I think it is retardations. I think we're good.
See, but people would take advantage of it though and go too far because yes,
oh my God! Now think about sports. Oh, let me just give my kid an extra 6 inches.
Yeah,
it's gonna be 100 million a year.
6 inches for what? Oh, height.
Yeah. Well, good point. That could be. Oh my God! Give your kid an extra 6 inches down there, and he might be the next big corn star.
Well, I didn't know why. Yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about. For
no, but imagine if they're 6'4" and you gave them like an extra 6 inches. That's a power forward in the NBA now.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's not football anymore. That's they switched to basketball.
Imagine if he jumped into the NFL. Imagine if you just had a 6'10" receiver out there. Like, imagine if LeBron was playing tight end. Like that. Oh my God. But he's making more money in the NBA. There's less people in there and your contracts are bigger.
Our future can get very interesting if people start to take it and use it for wrong, whereas you start wanting to use it to take care of autism so we can kind of weed out autism, which by the way, there's a root cause to weed out autism too, apparently, with jabs and with food.
That's a good point.
Plastics.
Autism might not even be a good example because retardation might be like we were saying. Yeah.
But autism could be, right? If you decide that you wanted to have a jab, if you wanted to have a vaccine and it created autism in your kid, you can still because
you can still edit them even.
Still edit it. You know what I mean? But like, I'm sure there'll be people hating on us for talking about this way, but like, it's all true. You know, like,
you know what? If you're hating on this conversation, then in my opinion, you're hating on the internet in 2000. Like if you're hating on AI, you're hating on the internet in 2000. That's exactly what it is.
I mean, because eye color is interesting. And I think like I've always liked this ice blue. I hate blue eyes. Like if a girl has blue eyes or something, I'm usually not even attracted to blue eyes.
There's a lot of
that ice blue, that sky blue that's very super rare
that's sick. But here's the issue with blue. There's a lot of health issues with blue-eyed people. Yeah. Like they have a lot of eye issues later on in life, and they have to wear glasses, and they have to do these things.
Yeah, they're almost like technically blind or something, right? Or there's some sort of
so the actual way a blue eye is created is there's less layers on the eye, and that's how you get different colors. It's the amount of light coming through that the layers on top of the eye or something like that.
Yeah, so you can just gene splice in like a black eye with like a vertical cat,
like a cat eye.
People, you know, so you have black eyes. And people, I'm telling you, people we'll look completely different.
Literally,
if we allow it to. So then morals and ethics become kind of an issue, right? Like what if you don't want to be white or Asian or black? What if you want to change your
South Park hit this really well too, actually, to tie it back into South Park like we did earlier. They had an episode where they turned Stan's dad into a dolphin because Stan's dad wanted to be a dolphin, and Stan wanted to become a great NBA player. So I'm going to give you two guesses what they did to him. They did two different surgeries.
Well, height would be the first guess, but
you got height right. What's the second one?
Oh, black.
Yeah.
They made him. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they made him black and super tall, but they put like dolphin, someone's balls in his knees. So at the end of the episode, his knees exploded. Like he went up to slam dunk the ball, and then he came down, his knees just exploded.
Okay, so I like that. That's so funny.
South Park hits everything great.
But those make sense. Make them tall, make them a different race or whatever. That kind of stuff makes sense, whether it's morally or ethically correct is a different story.
Yeah.
If we ever got to the point where you can choose to be like a dolphin or a dog instead of a human, like that's crazy.
I mean, we're almost there. We can identify as a dog or a dolphin, right? I identify as this chair.
Yeah, you can do that. You can, and that's the other thing. Maybe you could identify. So you don't have to change genders anymore. You could just be born.
What if I just identify as tall? Does the NBA have to treat me as if I'm 7 foot and pay me as if I'm a 7 foot center?
Yeah, good point. Right? Sue them because your identity. Yeah, that's such a gray area, man. But how does that work? When does the gene splicing happen? Does the process already have to happen? Forgive me, I don't even know what that's called. I think gene splicing specifically, CRISPR, I think it's called also. It has to happen in the womb while the baby's forming. But what you're talking about after birth is just stem cells for the most part. What if you wanted your baby to be a boy or a girl? Would gene splicing still work, or is that development already happened?
I'm not honestly sure about that. For some reason, I'm thinking the sperm dictates that. Like, there's male sperm and female sperm, or like, not obviously they're all sperm, but like they have different components within it, and then whichever one makes it through potentially is the winner. Yeah,
the XXXY thing. I don't really know too much about it, but I was just curious on.
And then there's Brittany Griner.
That's XXX.
We're not going to touch this one. But we're just going to leave it there. We're just going to leave it on the board right there.
I want to say there was another one too in question, but yeah, I don't even want to. That one's just
the wrestler, the Olympic wrestler. I think she was a wrestler.
Or boxer. There was a boxer.
It was a boxer, too. Yeah, not wrestler, boxer. Olympic though.
Just like knocking out chicks.
It was Olympic though, right? You're talking.
I think so,
yeah. We're thinking about the same one.
Yeah, let's not touch that. But dude, okay, so you got to check this out. And it's funny, I know we're saying that because I've literally watched, I think, a third of it.
I've studied a lot on this topic though.
Yeah. It is so interesting to me that you can just snip out.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. If you can get down to that molecular level and you have something to replace it with, why wouldn't you be able to?
What are you replacing it with? Is it fake?
Probably some sort of synthetic, I'm guessing. Yeah. Maybe like when I got my knee surgery, they pulled part of my hamstring out and put it in there. So maybe there's like a cadaver thing that you can, like a cadaver version or something, or like a synthetic, or maybe they're pulling it from another part of your body. I don't know. Actually, they couldn't pull it from another part of your body. What are they going to do? Stick it up the hole, pull it out, and then stick it back in.
I don't know, but see, you splice, like you take a bull's DNA and give it to a football player, then he becomes like a real fullback.
No, wait, that's exactly it. You pull it from animal. You probably pull it from animals. That's how they did in Jurassic Park too.
Unbelievable. We're getting so.
It's not even that crazy to think about. It's like we just need our technologies to catch up to because in theory this makes complete sense.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's watch Caterpillar.
Let's watch Caterpillar and report back on if we're doing this. I'm thinking about growing a couple inches and becoming the number 1 corn star in the world.
I don't know. I have a lot of comments on that, but I think I'll pin it for the next.
I might be moving to Chatsworth. This is all lining up.
There you go. Chatsworth, by the way. Chatsworth, California. Corn capital of the world.
Literally. Or is it just the valley in general?
It's kind of the valley in general, but I think
Chatsworth. But that's the headquarters, you could say.
Chatsworth was pretty big into it for.
That's the capital of the surrounding. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, is there anything else we should hit on this one? I thought this was a fun one so far.
I think we're good. I think I can always rant on dumb shit, but I could pin that too for next time. What are we in?
Let's call it.
Yeah.
So one last thing before we get out of here. The mastermind course, the podcast mastermind course, the epitome, the Bible for podcasters all over the world is finally about to drop. It's finally about to drop, guys.
Dude, and it's looking good. I saw a rough cut. I saw your intro. It looks so good.
I want to ask you something. While filming, while reviewing it, while taking a look at it, bro, what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
A lot of the social media stuff, because I'm not really good with social media. So when you get into the social media things, I think it's more on, how to upload, when to upload, why to upload, how to create a hook,
how to actually do the edits to create that clip to see it go well. So
that social media section for me was kind of like, even though I do this, you know, separately and with you. I've learned so much from you, just, you know, creating shows, but also watching the rough cut of the actual course was my favorite part, because
like,
you still learn.
And it reinforces stuff for you. It's like, oh, that really is important.
Yeah.
Like when you put it that way, when it's phrased with this, and this surrounding it, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But within that course, we cover literally from starting the podcast, from, you know, like literally choosing a name, building your set, choosing the right gear, all that pre-production, kind of pre even launching, you know, how to make your channels, all that stuff, to where you should be to shooting it, to editing it, to getting guests, to outlines, to everything you can freaking imagine. Literally, it's A to Z in the podcast world. It even gives different strategies and different formats for how to monetize it, with ideas on how to reach out to brands, places to reach out to brands, certain people on LinkedIn to reach out to, all that stuff. So,
and it could be a little intimidating too, right? Because there's a lot of information. And when I told you that, you came up with this idea where you could potentially give people access to you.
Yeah, we'll figure that part out, but I will include like a 2-hour session where we can talk it out, where I can walk you through your specific situation for all of it, whether it's gear, whether it's where you can shoot, all of it, whether you've got a podcast already and you just want to see it grow better. The course, go check it out. I'll let you know when it's officially live. Probably 2 more weeks or so for the website to be finished, and then we'll be live. But the course itself is finished and ready to go. On that note, go get you some First Form, firstform.com/TheFrameShift, and we will see you for another episode of the Frame Shift Podcast, your favorite online podcast.